Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're in Cameroon, I know it's a little after 11 p.m. In the United States, it's 6:11. This evening, we're discussing the current political unrest in Cameroon as a post-electoral crisis has erupted, and we've seen in the current week uprisings and protests in the northern regions of the country, notably in Garwa, in Marwa, but also in the littoral, and we've also seen in the western regions. We've seen two ministers come out to lambast Issa Chiroma, who currently says, and from every indication with regards to the trends and the 18 divisions for which he published result slips, seems to have won the election. They've come out, they've lambasted him, and they're calling for peace. As well as administrative authorities in the different parts of the country. We've seen divisional officers as well as senior divisional officers come out and go down in the streets and campaign, do a peace campaign, as they've called it. So we'll be discussing these things tonight, but also, you might want to know that the Constitutional Council will be proclaiming results on Monday, even though it was widely said that they were going to do so on the 23rd. And so pundits believe that this is in a bid to quell the unrest that is currently going on in the country. But also, you might want to know that politicians have come out to ask the Constitutional Council to not only proclaim the results, but not to read the results, but also to go ahead and proclaim them as the law disposes for with regards to Article or Section 137 of the Electoral Code. Joining us tonight to discuss this is a politician who was once a staunch supporter of Nijon Frundi and the SDF, broke away from that party a few years ago, joined his own party, and did some work to create a coalition for the liberation of Cameroon, as he calls it. Initially, he sided with Tomaino Jamjoya, who ran in this presidential election under the UDC banner, broke away from her as well, and pulled his weight or threw his weight behind Issa Chiroma, who today is considered the winner with regards to the ballot box of this election. He's here to discuss these things with us, but you also want to know that in the unrest that have been going on in the country, in Garwa, for example, Garwa woke up this morning to the second consecutive day of unrest as supporters continue to ask for the government to respect the decision of the people that have given Issa Chiroma an over 50% win in the last October 12 presidential election. And in the middle of this protest, two people have died. Zuhaira is one of them. She was in her 30s, a primary school teacher who was shot at point blank range yesterday in front of her house during protests. And she was buried today in Garwa. And then the second person who was killed was a secondary school student. Well, we discussed these things, the unrest in the country, but also in the northwest of Cameroon. We were able to confirm today the killing by separatist groups or by armed groups of a member of the National Assembly. His name was Abe Michael. He was abducted on the 15th of October, some days after voting in his constituency of Akko and Misaje. And they asked him for a ransom of 50 million francs. His driver told us that he was able to raise 4 million. This was not enough, and he was murdered today, and his body was dumped somewhere in the streets in the northwest. We'll be discussing these things with Shewa David Justel, who's here joining us from Yaoundé. I'll go ahead and add him. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you, madam, for this great opportunity. Thank you.
So today, a member of parliament in an unprecedented move was murdered by a group of armed men after being kept in abduction for 7 days. They had asked him for a ransom of 15 million francs, we are told. He was only able to produce or raise about 4 million of the amount requested, and he was finally murdered and his body dumped in the streets. You are a politician, originally from the Northwest. Do you have any comments to make about such a tragedy?
It's a sad issue. Apparently, I was not even stable. Some days back, someone texted me and have adopted Honorable Abe Michael. And Honorable Abe Michael is my brother. We are from the same constituency, from Akko and Misaje. presidential constituency, the Donga West. Abe Michael, apparently the unjust killing. I call it unjust killing. It's not really recommended as a positive move by me, because you see this crisis we have been urging and mounting this regime pressure to cease fire, to advocate for peace, because there's no way you can declare a war against the people and you win the war. There are innocent people that are instead dying. The real people who are behind this crisis, they are free. Like what happened to Abe Michael, I will just give people a brief summary. Abe Michael, I shouldn't take it long. In 2019-2020 legislative elections, because of the insecurity, he refused to go down to Akko and make campaigns. But he was still voted in. Why? When he was voted in, he decided to stay here in Yaoundé, seeing with all these things. And he has not been that kind of person that has been in the game of, like, among those who have been spearheading this issue of not like being genuine in the Anglophone crisis. He's a cool gentleman and a very neutral someone. The mother died the other time, just in the month of February, that I also lost my mother. We could not go down because of the insecurity. He could not go down. I don't really know what really pushed him to go down for this presidential. But when I heard that he was adopted, and they were in short, he was being asked for a ransom of that 15th million. Nobody called me as an elite that, see, this is what is happening. Somebody who privatized me and told me that there's a rumor that they have adopted Honorable Abe Michael. And in our village group, that's where I noticed that they were saying it. I sat quiet waiting if the family or other elite can call us that let us donate to help our brother. But nobody called me. You know, I am on the opposite camp. And if you want to infiltrate to do something, especially when it comes to this thing that is like more private, and you were not first officially informed, they'll take it in a way. You know, human beings are very terrible. But it baffles me that he is from the ruling party in Akko and Misaje. We have a minister that the both people have been working in synergy. I think even the day that he was adopted, that same day, this man, I don't think that 15 million would have been shot. That actually was above to have saved the soul of our brother, the soul of his colleague, and the person who went down for their own campaigns. You see, that's why we, at times, you see, some of us decided to stay in the opposition, because when you've been joining the ruling government, you are even working with them. When you have problems, they don't help you. You now think that one. They are just working for their personal interests. They don't work in a genuine way to assist people. We've heard many people, top-ranking personalities of CPDM, that these brothers adopted. That after being paid ransom, they were being released. But it really baffles me the case of my brother Abe Michael. And he's not in short, as I'm telling you, madam, if somebody didn't go down in 2020 for legislative elections because of insecurity, and so that no, it was not normal for him to go down in the middle of this crisis and campaign. But since he was a lone candidate in the party and he was being, renewed, that the mandate was renewed and voted him back, I don't see why our brothers could even kill him. Because reasons why I'm really talking to the separatist fighters on the field. They have been killing innocent souls. People that you can just apparently, that you will not even imagine that they were even part of this game, but they have killed them. But the real people are still there. We don't support killings. We are the same people. We are Anglophones. There is a crisis. Yes, there is a problem, an Anglophone problem. By history, it is documented that the Anglophones we were a state. Reason why the 20th May is being celebrated. We were a state and a genuine state that came to make out of unity, out of love, to join with our brothers, the French, to form this
So
nation. This problem, excuse me, madam, let me just end this topic about my brother Abe Michael. Because it has touched me a lot. This evening, I didn't believe until someone sent me a shot, his image this evening before I could believe that what they were saying is true. Because I later on I saw in the social media they said that no, that really he was released. Then later on I saw that's the time I inquired from the group before the members of the group showed me photo. Really, I want to tell our brothers, we are having a problem. The problem is not an Anglophone problem. Our problem is with the regime. Because when I see the Francophones, majority love us. The few individuals who are taking this Cameroon hostage, they are the ones that are creating the problem, creating this problem. I even made an error by using a presidential degree to change the form of the states. And why, after changing the form of the states, also Pobia came also, though that is, the time he's changed it to a unit, to a United Republic of Cameroon, there were still 2 stars, still showing that at least 2 people came together. Now it became worse when they came and removed, erased the other flag.
without a referendum, and that was by Paul Biya.
Yes, and by Pobia. So we have noticed that it's a long problem that though some of our brothers took part in all these acts that we are facing today. But I want to tell our brothers and sisters who are on the field, please stop killing innocent souls. Stop killing our brothers. Because after all, we still come back. When I came out as a president, as a presidential candidate, I already said, God asked me to forgive Pobia. Yes. Because there's nothing that we can do to retain all those souls that have gone.
Mr. Shewa, in the comment section, we keep having this topic come up, and participants keep saying this may have been related to the presidential election, that he was suspected of contributing to the rigging of the ballot in the Ndonga Mantu. Do you want to make a comment on that? There were some places where Mr. Biya was attributed 15,000 votes when some people did not even see up to 100 people come and vote. I take the case of the Njinikom City Hall, where the CPDM representative, Mr. Kube, actually resigned because he says he saw 130 people vote, but at the end of the day, 2,421 votes were awarded Mr. Biya. So in the case of Nkambe, it is believed that about 15,000 votes were awarded Mr. Biya when barely a few hundred people voted in that election. Do you think this is related, his murder or his assassination? We are having technical issues. We just lost Mr. Shewa, but as soon as we can have him added on here, we'll be happy to continue the conversation. In the meantime, hi, Dris, the greenest Ngancha. Okay, it's good to know that he was your neighbor in uni. Shay Bob Tyre, good evening. David Harp, thank you so much for joining us. And you all who are here, we appreciate your time. Yannick says, tell Paul Biya to stop the war. The elites of Southern Cameroon are the ones with blood on their hands. Your comment is noted. And so, yes, Yubas Mahmouda, bonsoir et merci de nous rejoindre également. If you are just joining us, please, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We are here. Nuruddin, thank you. I appreciate your time. Gucci, the fact that they had to proclaim the results 15 days after the actual vote day is definitely a trap, and no one should follow the constitutional council. Your points and your comments are well taken note of. We appreciate your time here today. Mr. Shewa David Gestel is our guest. We hope that he can reconnect. We understand that there could be connectivity issues. As soon as we are able to reconnect with him, we'll continue the conversation. But you know the gist of the political climate of the country right now. A plethora of ministers have come out to condemn Issa Chiroma, who says he, without any questionable doubt, he has won the election. And he came out in a statement today and said he will be calling on Cameroonians to protest hand in hand and in fraternity to put an end to this oligarchy, predatory oligarchy that has impoverished its people. And he also spoke of protests that will last for quite a while. I can see that Mr. Shewa David is back with us. We appreciate your time, Mr. Shewa. Thank you so much. We got disconnected for some reason. I guess internet in Cameroon is an issue, the same way electricity and water are. But I was asking you the question about whether the killing or the abduction and then the final assassination of a member of parliament was related to the presidential election and the irregularities around it, especially in the English-speaking parts of the country.
Well, for me, apparently, I don't think that the killing was just. My brothers, I want us to understand certain things. Killing will not help us. I don't know whether he took part in among those who made the fraud. Actually, I'm from Akko. The investigation I did, I wrote that there were riggings from Messager, Akko, Ndu. I get him. So in Akko, from those who my militants who were on the spot, nobody mentioned of Abe Michael being part of the riggers. Those who were riggings, their names were stated very clear. He made it very openly. In short, they communicated me those who actually made the fraud, and I won't call their names here because of security purposes. Yeah, because I believe that those people shall be taken. In short, they are going to be taken. In short, they are going to face the justice in the days ahead. If I call their names, anything happens to them, it will be as if I have reported them out there. But we know them. Those people who did this act, they are home-based, some government and some officials who did all these riggings. Abe Michael's name was not there. So when I heard that he was adopted, I just knew that we have people who were being adopted, like His Excellency what's the name again? That did this Ngafusin. We have Ngafusin. We have the other woman, they call her that senator. But they were with these brothers. They were being released after when ransom that they requested were given. But I was really disturbed. I don't know who did and who gave them that order to execute and kill Abe Michael. As I'm telling you, dear ladies and gentlemen watching me, and all Cameroonians hearing me, I'm somebody who is very straightforward. I'm not afraid of anybody. If Michael was implicated in the fraud that took place in Akko, I would have said yes. His name was mentioned. But let me tell you, madam, he wasn't among those who masterminded all this fraudulent act that took place. But now, what can we say again? Because the soul cannot be returned. And I blame, as I said, I blame his immediate collaborators, like the minister that is from Akko. I just call Akko Mr. J. I don't want to call Donga Mountain. Because in Donga Mountain, they have political barons. What is 50 million? If they heard that their own colleague was taken only for 50 million, that's why I didn't bother, because I knew that that money was nothing. If they gave that money maybe that same day or this next day, he would have been released. I started seeing some people writing all short nonsense over the social media that kill him, no, ask for 500 billion, a million, ask for 1 billion, or some people were just saying other things. But how can you I saw it just this evening. You know, when there's something, some people, there are people in short on the social medias that they don't investigate things, but they are out there to, in short, you know, to act flames. And I believe that it's just,
So,
in short, is all these things that that provokes them on the field to kill. Because this man, as I'm telling you, I can tell you, this man is a neutral person. I am an opposition, a real opposition. He has not been in this thing like fighting the Anglophones crisis or not standing with them. No, he has been neutral in a time where you can find yourself in a system that you keep you quiet. You don't force things, you just sit you quiet. That's how Abe Michael has been. But really,
Elvis,
I'm really,
so
really feeling bad this evening. And I want to tell the family that it's very sad to, you know, it's very heavy to withstand this news, and this and the way he was murdered is really heavy for us, and especially me, that I am a genuine Anglophone that is out there to resolve this crisis. And I'm telling my brothers that if you take somebody, don't kill the person. Don't kill the person. Allow the person, God will judge the person. Here I ends about the topic of Abe Michael. Thank you.
so thank you, Mr. Shewa. Elvis Newcomb, who is also watching us, says in 2013, Honorable Abe Michael was my opponent during the parliamentary elections. Shewa, Abel, and myself were the three contenders of these elections. He was such a gentle soul. May his soul rest in peace. It is unfortunate. Elvis Newcomb happens to have been the NUDP National Youth Chairman during that time. He has definitely transitioned onto other responsibilities after that. But I want to ask you, because while you were making your statement, you mentioned that you knew who the fraudsters were. You knew those who rigged the elections in the community, and they'll be brought to justice. But we've seen with all the videos of electoral fraud and such savage, grotesque rigging, nobody seems to have been brought to book. And my question to you, sir, is do you believe in the justice system of Cameroon?
Madam, really, there is justice. Because I have one matter that myself, I didn't even go to the court. Somebody who, you know, the guy out of, I don't know, out of wickedness. It's a long story, but just to get this shirt. This guy pleaded I should help him pack, these truck parts in short in my yard, in a yard where I often park my trucks. He came, I gave him a place where he packed those things. And he asked for only 1 month. And when it happens that the thing was already more than 1 year, my trucks, one of my drivers went there and didn't see the things. I'm the one who called him that, see, my drivers are just from calling me that your things are no longer there. And when I inquired, it was my godfather who took it. I told him, but the guy went and took me to court. I struggled to solve the matter between him and that my godfather. And then when I even proposed a land so that this guy should take a land in compensation of what that man took. But the guy refused and said he must go follow this matter with me to court. I said, but you're carrying me to court, what have I done? Did I take anything of yours? And finally, when I took, for me to show my neutrality, I had to take my godfather to the gendarmerie at the set. And they said, he came there, he accepted. He's the one who took it. When the court saw it, the court, the judge's matter, I was not even in the court. They judged it and I won the case. So I'm telling you, to an extent, there is justice. But what concerns the electoral matter, there is no transparency. Understand here, madam. Because my candidacy was fraudulently disqualified. I say rejected. And those who took part in this conspiracy, that some of us who are the real leaders, who advocate for real change, not to take part in these elections. Thank God that Issa Chiluma was among and was in short was with them, and they thought that he was really somebody that they could just allow him, as they knew that they have already removed some of us who are like outspoken and whom they've come to give money and we've never accepted. That person like him, he was going to collaborate, but now it's something else. I just want to thank God, because everything you do on earth, there is a payment. If you want to fight some particular individuals for your personal interest, God will use somebody beside you and to push you out of the game. That's what is happening right as we are seeing. So I want to tell you, for electoral matters, madam, there is no justice. But when it comes to normal justice in court, as I told you about about this issue, I told that judge that you really, I didn't know that we could have no judge, in short, judges that are very transparent like you. A judge like you are actually, I have something for you, and what I will do is that I will pray for you, but you won't be at that safe position. I pray I should be the next president of the republic. I will put you as the minister of justice, because we need people like you who work with the law, who no with that no thing attached like bribery. No. So, but when it comes to, you see, like what is there at the Constitutional Council, I don't call them like judges. They are just individuals that these are probably have just appointed. I call them, they are hungry people, because if really they were famed individuals that they know that they have been appointed to save the nation, not even His Excellency Paul Biya alone, all those things that they did by removing my candidacy and that of Camp2, they wouldn't have ever done it. So when it comes to electoral matter, madam, really there is no justice. Coming back to, I can call him Honorable Ndasi Elvis. Yes, he's talking about me. That's why I say I didn't want to go far. I was the candidate in 2013. I was 25 years. We were three of us running for these legislative elections. Myself, Honorable Ndasi, and Honorable Abe Michael. Ndasi can explain better, because myself, I won in Ako. All those fraud that they did was in Messager. And all of us were in Ako with Abe Michael, but the results came later that he won after having the vote count of Messager. But meanwhile, it was not the case. So we know what the regime is capable of, and they are still doing right now. What concerns electoral issues, really, it is not issue. But I don't blame Abe Michael, because he was not the one who was frauding. He was with me in Ako. We were making our campaigns in Ako, and I won in Ako. So it was fraud that one of their elites in Messager, that is presently occupying the position, that masterminded those frauds just because of his selfish interest. So, and that's why I want to call on Cameroonians, and especially our brothers, the separatists. If I'm coming back to 2013, this man was not even part of those who were even, he was even in his hotel. He was not even there. The elections, we made our campaigns with Ndasi Elvis, with Dr. Ndasi Elvis. After campaigns, we waited. People voted for us. And my vote counts, and that's how I took the council of Ako, because the council was under CPDM. I won it for SDF. As you see now, we are no longer the SDF because of all that is happening within the SDF. I know you have a topic on that. When we come back, I will brief on that. Thank you.
So I want to discuss the Constitutional Council, which is set to proclaim the results next week, Monday, even though close sources have it within the Constitutional Council corridors, have it that they were set to initially release it tomorrow, 23rd, but because of the unrest in the country, for some strategic reason, they decided to move it to the very deadline of Monday, 27th. At the Constitutional Council today, though, petitions, post-electoral petitions or litigations that were filed were being heard. And you know, there were 8 of them, and you have a candidate whom you happen to have been an ally for a brief period of time, Honorable Tomaino, who was calling on the total annulment of the elections on grounds of gross irregularities and fraud. Do you have a comment to make about that?
Well, that, you mean the general comments on the proclamation of the elections, or about Madame Tomaino?
About her participation in the election and the fact that you worked closely with her when you were trying to set up a coalition.
Yeah, apparently, Madam Tomayo, Honorable Tomayo Ndamjoya, went our candidacy were rejected. Myself, people like Kamto, whom all of us were like the main opposition leaders. After having been, studied all the 11 candidates, she was, that she was the only person that was an opposition. Others were linked with the government. Others were being, in short, their candidacy or their cautions were being paid by this regime. So I decided, and with other political leaders, that we should support her. When we supported her up to, I'm sure I call it at a 90-minute game, we noticed that Issa Chiruma was now serious. Because the time he asked for forgiveness, my main issue with him was the Anglophone crisis. Thank God when he came out, he recognized and he said most of these things were being forced by the authority in force to communicate. Reasons why he went to ask for forgiveness. One time, this woman, Madame Tomayo, why I admired her along the line, she made an open statement when she was striving for a coalition. She organized many meetings with other candidates, but all their meetings were failing. And that's when I told her that all of these guys, this regime has paid the money. They will never accept for any coalition. Because the plans of the regime were, firstly, they should know that when there's no coalition, to permit them to win. Like if they are 10, everyone goes separately. The vote counts because you might decide to vote A. Another person will decide, no, let me vote me B. Another person will decide, let me vote me Z. So you finally see that the vote counts that would have gone to one person will be seen divided, and it will give them opportunity to win and to stay back in power. So when this woman at one time made mention that she was apparently ready to give up, and that anyone who wants to work, let the person should come, she's ready to give up. I was very happy with her. But I told her, Madam, for now that we are not seeing genuine person that we can ally with, all of these guys, from their indications, they are all working with the government. Let us support you. That's how we started going at the last minute now. And the strategy I gave her, she didn't respect it. And at the end, 4 days to the polls, that's when she accepted trying to organize, but it was late. I told her, okay, see, my main objective coming out even to be a candidate and even leaving SDF was because of the Anglophone crisis. Because when my father, His Excellency John Fudu, was alive, and my godfather and Honorable Awudu Mbaya, we have Banazem, Mbandam, we have Wiba, and the rest. All of us were really fighting for this crisis to end. One time when Pa Fundi was already sick, that is when his immediate collaborators that he gave confidence to, they started turning things like that. They were no longer saying the truth about the crisis. People were dying, but they were just making like this. I was there, but I was in pain. How can you oppose your father? And I understand that he was not feeling fine. He was not the guy Fundi that we know. But when you notice when this crisis started, he was really, all of us, when we went to Boya, and when they went and had those students rape some students, people can see that it's thanks to SDF that this Anglophone crisis went viral. Now, when it came at the neck of time now that we should boycott the elections of 2020, which myself and Honorable Awudu decided, because we had a NEC meeting. That NEC meeting, all of us decided that we were not going in for elections because the people were dying. That 2019, 2020, it was really bloody crisis then. We had a meeting, though Fundi was not there. He was out of the country. I was in the meeting. He called O.C. Joshua. By then, he was the first vice president. What have you people decided? O.C. Joshua told him that, Your Excellency, we are still brainstorming. This is Honorable Mbanda, this is Awudu, we are still brainstorming. He said, okay, finish and get back to me. While we were still brainstorming, they asked all of us individually, can you penetrate the territory? Some of us, we say no. Most militants, they are all out of the national territory. They are as refugees in the neighboring nation. So it will be better we boycott the elections. They should cease fire. Let our people should come back. The dialogue should be enforced so that we go in for a good, and we should go in for an election that is in a free environment, that our militants and everybody will participate. As we agreed like this, one few minutes ago, just about 10 minutes like that, a call came in. Constitution took the call. That's how he left. Him and Honorable Mayor John of Kumo. That's how they left. They left us. Honorable Awudu and the rest got angry because Frundi was waiting for this minutes so that he should sign. Either we are going in for election or not. That's how all of them left. Honorable Awudu told me that let me not go. I should sit there and wait for the minutes. I was the last person to leave the office at 6 p.m. with vanguards. We're the one locking the office, but they didn't come back. In the night, at 8 p.m., I just saw that His Excellency Frundi has signed that we are going in for elections. I said, what is all this? And 12 midnight, I saw on Facebook one guy, published that a group that's Baron of SDF has gone and collected money at the presidency to come and register us so that we should participate in the upcoming election. I just short screen it and forwarded it to my father, my godfather Awudu. See, it shows that maybe as these guys were like that, maybe it could be true, but let us just wait. And even himself, Frundi didn't even call to even ask that is it what people decided that people were going in for elections. Nobody, Frundi didn't call him. Now at the end, what happened was that 3 days later, if you go to my Facebook page on 2019, you see what I wrote to Frundi. I wrote to him and gave him 24 hours. I didn't even tell my godfather because I knew I was governing a whole constituency on my own. I wrote to Frundi. I am the youngest among you people. What I'm saying down as a young person, you are my father, but you cannot see it. What the people have decided, I have not seen how you in person, you come and annul or refuse what we decided that we were not going for election, and you are forcing us to go to reinstate our decision. When my godfather Awudu saw it, he was like, hey, is that what you can write to Frundi? I said, that's it. No. Because people are dying. Is he not seeing? People are dying. We decided that we're not going in for elections. Now, when I wrote the letter, I even published it when he came back from, I think he was in Canada or wherever. He came back, he held a meeting. Awudu, he asked that, but what happened that Awudu and the others and the son didn't go in for election? The immediate collaborators, they lied to him. That is because Awudu is tired. Awudu is not willing to go in for parliament. Yes. So, and I forgot a portion. Within that 3 days, I saw a call. One of the honorable members of parliament, I don't want to call because for security purposes, I'm revealing something because something that happens to him, they will say, because I revealed something. This guy called me, Shewa, where are you? Bring your documents. I said, documents for what? There is negotiation at the presidency that all of us, including you, from ACO, will come back as parliamentarian. I said, what? I said, which type of negotiation? He said, no, bring your documents, there is money. I said, no, my brother, I cannot. I'm too young to sell my people out. I'm not hungry. Some of you people are already in the parliament. Me, I missed it because of the fraud that came from Mr. J, or else I would have been with you guys. But this mandate, I cannot sell or move on corpses because I want to be a parliamentarian. We all decided, they asked you in the hall, and you said that you were not going to, that it was unable for you to penetrate your territory. And your territory It's first of
So,
all
so,
horrible. It is around Bamenda. Let me
so I
just
want
call
to
around
get this.
Bamenda.
I want to get this.
Yeah.
The first things first, in two sentences, why did your collaboration with Honorable Tomaino not work out? You've been very vocal about it, but we just want to hear it from your mouth. Why?
Okay. It didn't work out
Were you
because
sidelined? Were you ostracized from the group?
yeah, I was just quoting this issue of SDF, how I select from SDF when they were not doing things properly. It's the same thing that I also left Tomayo Damjoya because we were supporting him at the neck of the time. I told him there is a voice note that I have that I sent it in a forum where we were, all the political leaders. I told them at 12 midnight that all of them should think while sleeping. There's necessity for a coalition because we alone cannot win. Inside Chiruma alone cannot win. Bello alone cannot win. If we all go in different, if we are going for in different views, certainly Pobia will be first. Isa Chiruma come second, will come third. There is no needs. Better we should give our vote to Isa Chiruma. As I said in the morning at 5:30, while in the meeting, one woman, though she was not, she wasn't in the meeting at that 5:30. There's one woman that was chairing that she mandated to be like the general coordinator of her campaigns. The woman
Mrs.
told me the woman
Kembiwa. Are you referring to Mrs. Kembiwa?
Kambiwa. Madam Kambiwa refused that we're not going in for any coalition. That even that want to go in for coalition is not somebody like Issa Chiruma. I said no. I was against Issa Chiruma yesterday, but he has asked for forgiveness. God says when somebody has confessed, it is necessary to forgive. And where we are, Bello Buba is not serious. If we are going to support Bello Buba, from all indication, is still linked with the regime. Let us support Issa Chiruma. That's how she used a statement that if I joke, he's going to exit me from the group. I said, what, madam? Is that what you mean? And she just wrapped her words that she meant that no, we are not here to talk about this thing. We are here to conclude campaigns of the day, Saturday, 11. I just said, okay, I'm leaving you. That's how I left. I came in, I inboxed Madam Tomayo. Madam, there is an urgency. I need your approval. He said, what? I say, madam, I want us to form a coalition with this man, Issa Chiruma, to help liberate this nation, to help stop the Anglophone crisis. Because if, when they were going in for election, probably had even ceased fire, would have known that they have the will to solve the problem, but they have not ceased fire. People are still dying. When I spoke to her, I said, madam, let us keep history. Cameroonians have been fighting or crying for coalition. If we do it, at least people will be happy. I want you to keep a history. Let us join Issa Chiruma. She didn't reply. She was online. She just muted everything I said to the end. I waited for 30 minutes. By then, other political leaders in that group, because we were 10 of us that supported her. The first person called me, President, I'm with you. I'm standing with you. I would like us to work in synergy. It's needless to go where you know that we are not going to win. What you are saying is true. Let us liberate this nation. The second person called me, third, fourth, fifth. We discovered that we were 7 of them.
And I asked the question because I know that she received support from politicians like Hilaire Zipa, who is still an ally of hers and who also wanted to run for president, but was barred from the race as well as yourself. But also, Chantal Triller is another politician that from the eastern part of the country who initially allied himself with her, but pulled out of that alliance and threw his support behind Issa Chiroma. So that's why I was asking, who are some of the politicians who told you that they were siding with you and it was a good decision for you to pull out your support with her and give it to Issa Chiroma, who is now claiming his victory and asking Cameroonians to hand-in-hand protest until the victory is given to them and the Constitutional Council speaks the decision of the people.
Yes, those candidates we have Aptemengu, we have Jomo, Abel, we have Tamde, Benjamin. All of them are leaders of political parties. We are all together. Forget about Zipan. I get now. Zipan was not first of all straightforward. When we, in short, he was when we even wanted, when we decided to join Tomayo, he was not first of all in for. They were proposing that let us talk well to see the best candidates. I just told him that no, for now, the best person for me that I'm seeing that is the real opposition person who can help me solve this problem. And since she was also coming from Fumban, I get in. I took it for that confidence that supporting her, all my energy and my financial resources, the Anglophone crisis will end. Now, when we already arrived on Saturday, the 11th, when I wait, the atmosphere was showing that since she didn't respect it, in short, since she didn't respect the strategies that we proposed, now we will be coming around the text. I said, no, madam, my mission was that we should liberate this nation to end this war. Because I know that any new leader that comes in will first of all cease fire. Because you cannot come and continue rolling with that, solving the Anglophone crisis. Because it cannot go. So now seeing that Issa Chiruma is from North and is the brother, Aijo, that came and negotiated with our parents, that came and told them that everything was going to be 50-50. He told our parents, that's why they were convinced. That's the majority decided, no, voted that no, let them should come to join West Cameroon. And all, this Eastern, French Cameroon. So all their plans, because Aijo promised and that everything was going to be 50-50. When I reflected over this history, I saw that Issa Chiruma is from the north, and he's a brother to Aijo Amado. Certainly, when we come back on the table, as he already went to Bamenda, asked for forgiveness and said he's ready to collaborate, that we should solve the problem. I know that when we pose the issue, that yes, this is what your brother said, you know it, and you know the history. And this is what was done in Fumban. I know he's going to apply it because he knows the history. So reasons why you saw all the two persons, they were all they were already around where my problem was lying, because my problem is to solve this problem genuinely so that this war should end. Innocent people should stop dying. So that is how the 7 of us came out. We made the call at that 10 a.m. after when we had concerted. We called now Issa Chiruma. That was the first time that I discussed with Issa Chiruma. One of the political leaders told me that, okay, that he has the number. I said, okay, ask him in the group call. Let us talk with him. That's how he called him. Now we started discussing. We presented ourselves, and I just spoke to him directly. Your Excellency, I know as we have joined you, you will win. Secondly, we were against you because when you came out, when all of you came out, we know you people were working with the regime, and there was no confidence. I didn't have trust in you. But as you've proven that you meant business and you are real an opposition leader, we will help you, we will support you, and the victory will come. He was very happy, and immediately he told us that, okay, he is giving us his power, that we should be campaigns manager. He named the areas. I was for the Unrest officially. That is how we now have to call for others, because others were in West, do a littoral east. They had to travel to Yaoundé. We held now a press conference around 4 p.m. That is how we declared and gave our motion that all Cameroonians no want to vote for any other party. We should all give our vote to Issa Chiruma. And they did it. Because when you notice, people like O.C. Joshua, people like Kabari Libi, people like Sesh, they were already getting, they have people already. But you see that our call, people hate it. We were 7 of us. And that is how they voted for Issa Chiruma. There are some police stations that they themselves entered. They only have their single votes. And they noticed that it's only, their own votes that were taken into account in that police stations. So I know that our role we played is a great role, and I saw the victory from the results,
So you're
the
saying
raw
that,
all results
Mr.
that were
Shewa,
coming.
Mr. Shewa,
Yes,
so you're saying that the Issa Chiroma victory is largely because of the work, the groundwork that you did to canvass for votes for him?
apparently, madam, I'm saying this vehemently, and Cameroonians knows it. When we declared that last minute, look at it. If you know, even the Madame Tutomayo was already pulling crowd. But you cannot imagine the position, you cannot imagine the vote count. Even the votes, people who voted for her, it's no longer what was showing there. So it's showing that people listening to our call. Because every Cameroonian 2025 needed a change. Because we all know that it's no longer Pobia that is rolling. We know it very well. It's no longer Pobia. Because if it was Pobia, look, the first remark that I'm saying to Cameroonians, I don't believe that Pobia knows everything that is happening right now. Because Pobia, when he was running for past presidential elections with my father Frunzi, no other strength, he has never and ever rejected or connected to reject the candidacy of His Excellency Frunzi. But this 2025, they did it to me and Kanto. And that's why I want to tell Cameroonians, Paul Biya didn't play a role. Paul Biya didn't do that. Because he has been competing for elections that were more heavy than this one of 2025. If he was the one that is Paul Biya as he was, he would have permitted all of us to compete. So that's why I'm saying that this country has been taken on hostage.
So who do you think has taken the country and has taken the country hostage? Who are the people?
Madam,
Do you want to name any names?
Madam, I'm not here to list names. Their actions speak louder than words. Huh? Their actions speak louder than words. And those who are around the core of the presidency, we know what is happening. So I'm not the one to tell you. So just understand that this aspect that I've brought out as an exhibit, my candidacy being removed unjustly. Meanwhile, the candidate that stood with me didn't pay 30 million, but elect him. That's why you see, when I wrote to congratulate Issa Chiroma, I made mention of it. The letter is clear. I explained that yes, from the votes that shot from the vote count or the votes that we've already received from the polling station shows that he is winning very alarming. Why waiting for the constitutional council? I congratulate and I want Elekam that let them ensure that Elekam shouldn't try to ensure that to do the same thing that they did with my candidacy by fraudulently removing my name. And meanwhile, that boy that came and stood with me was just the third vice president, saying that he was the third vice president in 2017 and decided to stand as a candidate for the for this election and even pay a caution of 30 million.
Who is that?
I prove it. Huh?
Who is that?
It's one boy called Yem Eboko Pierre. He didn't pay 30 million. Before the Constitutional Council, I show exhibits. That's how they stood like that. I said, yes, ask him. If really was serious to be a candidate, there's no law that a third vice president can sign his or her investiture. It's the national president by law that the party has given all powers to sign all investitures of the party. But the national president alone signed with mine. But somebody from coming somewhere as the third vice president signed his own candidacy and didn't pay 30 million. I told those guys at the Constitutional Council. That's why I'm telling you that at the Constitutional Council, I call them guys who are not ready, who are not serious. Because after seeing all exhibits showing them that if this guy was serious to be a candidate, he would have paid 30 million. 30 million.
In your previous declarations that some opposition candidates had their bills footed, their presidential caution, they're footed by the regime. How do you know this is true, and who are these people?
Madam, I don't need to call names. All of us have seen how can young people who are striving for change, Cameroonians are crying that they need change. They are unable to sit down, to unite, to give a support therefore to coalesce, to give their support to one person. It is a clear evidence.
But
It's a clear evidence that we should understand that.
because their ideologies were different, does it have, are you, how can you assert claims that you're unsure of just based off of the grounds that they did not want to field a single candidate? It could also be egos, it could be different political ideologies, it could be pressure from their party's base. Why do you think?
Madam, let me tell you something. We are politicians. I'm not a politician that is out to tarnish somebody's personality. Cameroonians, they know this truth. They know everything. Me, I'm a politician. I call a spade a spade. But when it comes to, like, tarnishing your personality, huh, I will reserve that. Let my militants and other Cameroonians do it, not me, because I reserve my own personality. And if anybody has anything against me, let them to say it, but not me as a leader, calling names. But when I say the regime, all of you know it and all of you saw it, because at the end, none of them were ready to support or to give their support to one person, because their plans, they were being sponsored, even their campaigns. There are rumors in the social media that 1 billions were given to some 4 political leaders. I don't know how far it's true, but the journalist was saying that he has all the proofs. Anywhere they have taken, he gave hours that money were wired into the account, or 1 billion. So there are many things. So I should not be the one. But me as a politician, when I want to say something that that can infringe somebody's personality, at that point I can make it clear that this person, this person, this person. When maybe that person have attacked me, if you, like, maybe President probably attacked me as Shewa, I can attack him and bring out all evidence about it. But when
Mr.
I'm talking,
Shiwa,
yeah,
Mr. Shiwa, the candidate that you finally chose, Issa Chiroma, began releasing and finished releasing yesterday the results per the results slips of 18 divisions of the country with the most weighty population density, and he won in 13 out of 18 of those divisions, putting him at a clear lead in this presidential election. And he's claiming victory with over 50%, about 54%. Today, he came out in a statement to say that, to call on Cameroonians to protest hand in hand, and to put an end to what he termed a predatory oligarchy that has impoverished the country. And my question to you, as his ally, will you be going down in support of Issa Chiroma to demand that the truth of the ballot box be reflected in the proclamation of results? We've seen young people come down in the streets in different cities in the country calling for Issa Chiroma's victory to be given to him, to be proclaimed at the Constitutional Council. Will you join in the protests? Well, we just lost him. There might be a network issue. As soon as we're able to reconnect with Shewa David Gestel, we'll be happy to have him back on here. And if you're joining us live, I'm Angie Forbin, and this show carries my name. You can watch it here on Facebook as well as on YouTube. It's the same handle, Angie Forbin Live, and we're interested in people who make news and who are in the news. We want to hear from them what's going on. We're discussing today the realities of the terrain with regards to the post-electoral crisis. What we know is that so far, 2 people have lost their lives in Garwa. This was during protests yesterday. One of them, a primary school teacher, Zuhaira, who was laid to rest this morning. She was shot at point blank range yesterday during protests. She was not even a part of the protest. She was standing in front of her house, from what her father recounted. We also know of a pupil, a secondary school pupil, who was murdered as well. But the crisis has continued, uproar around the country as they continue to demand that the will of the people be reflected in the proclamation of the results in a country where the Constitutional Council is believed to be one of a rubber stamp that takes orders that are sent to it from the presidency, but also a country that has a long-standing tradition of rigged, irregular, and untrustworthy elections. Well, the ballot spoke on the 12th of October, and per the result trends, Issa Chiroma took a strong lead and overturn the BR regime. They seem to be in a tight corner. We've seen ministers come out today. The Minister of Higher Education, who's believed to be an architect of the BR regime, came out and called Maurice Kamto, who in 2018 himself was saying that he had won the election, and Issa Chiroma, political psychopaths for claiming victory. But also, we saw the Minister of Social Security and Labor, who happens to be the Deputy Secretary General at the CPDM Central Committee, come out and call and lambast Issa Chiroma and tell him enough was enough. We've seen this stigmatization, and it's like a playbook that they use every time there's a crisis, a political crisis in the country. We saw this in 2015, 16, when advocates of federalism were demonized, when lawyers, labor unions, as well as teachers' trade unions were heavily demonized after the government had tried unsuccessfully to bribe them. And we know how that story ended. These people were asking that Anglophones be treated like regular human beings because we were sick and tired of being sick and tired. Agbobala and Neighbor Fountain were called to sit at the table. Money was touted them and they denied it. And the next thing we knew, they were threatened. They were thrown behind bars. They were called all kinds of names. And then we had a separatist guild emerge, the calls or cries for a secession that came from Ayuk Tabe. And we also know how that ended. He was kidnapped, or he was seized from the Nera Hotel in Nigeria, neighboring Nigeria, along with 11 other people, and they were thrown behind bars. They're still languishing in jail today. And so we've seen this play out before, where political dissidence is cracked down on, the army is used, or law enforcement is used, but also threats and just the ostracization of anybody who sings a different song than what the regime is saying. Elections are stolen. That is a known and established fact. Since the return to multi-party politics in the 90s, we've had 6 presidential elections, and none of them has been considered credible. In 92, the first election to be organized since the return to multi-party politics. Well, political pundits and diplomats around the world who were in Cameroon believe that Frundi won that election. We know what happened after. He was stigmatized. He was boxed into a corner. He was called Anglo-Bami. And then, things have evolved in the kind of way where when an election comes, you see the rigging, you experience it, but we still have Sovietic scores proclaimed in favor of Paul Biya. In 2018, a similar scenario played out, and close lieutenants to the opposition, the regime's main adversary at that time, Maurice Kamto, are still in jail till today. Some of them have spent close to 7 years behind bars. And these people say that they want peace. The regime still touts and says, they want peace. We should not destabilize the country. Every time an opposition leader says they want to go out and exercise their constitutional rights to protest, the response is very stern from the regime. They come out, they bully you, and they sing the song of peace, but the song of peace is like a threat. We've seen yesterday the senior divisional officer for the Fundi, Mr. Jikden, going around with a xylophone, but also heavily protected with a strong police presence that you can tell is meant to intimidate people, but they're saying there's peace. So we've seen this play out, and for some reason, this insider that nobody saw come, Issa Chiroma, who is today claiming victory, seems to have cracked the code, because he seems to be doing things in a way that is unexpected, and you can see that the trigger, what the response it has triggered. There's a lot of panic. You see the government, all these chiefs are coming out, traditional authorities, religious authorities, saying people should stay home. And the question I have to you, Mr. Shewa, thank you for returning, is if there is peace in Cameroon, why is there such a heavy military presence everywhere? And why are all of these authorities, regime authorities, coming out to say people should not go down to the streets or get killed? Is that a reflection of peace?
Well, madam, I don't think there is total peace. There is peace, but there is no peace. There is peace, but the regime enforced, they don't want to give peace a chance. Because these electoral disputes that we are currently seeing is the same thing that happens with our father, my father Frunzi, in the 92. That Frunzi won very clear and his victory was stolen. But yet they did make frauds in a way that, thank God that Frunzi didn't use violence. Yes, maybe they will say that Frunzi is a wicked person and all that type of things. It's at the end that people who even took part in this decision, like to rig the elections, confess. We also videos everywhere that they were confessing that Frunzi won, and they decided that no, that Frunzi and as an Anglophone cannot roll. They call other people who were like behind the issue saying that Frunzi cannot roll, and they finally seized the victory of Frunzi. That's why in my in short, in my notes, my congratulating note to Issa Chiruma, I also warned Elekam that what happened to Frunzi in 92, let it should not repeat itself in 2025. If the will of the people has been invested on someone, let it be given. Let them shouldn't create war. We need peace. Cameroon is a good country, but some individuals have decided to, to unstable the economy and to unstable everything that is moving well because of their selfishness.
And I'm going back to the question I asked you before we got disconnected. Will you be going down to demand the truth of the ballot box be established? Will you be going down into the streets, as Issa Chiruma has asked, you being an ally, to demand that the will of the people be respected?
Madam, I think protests, it is a constitutional right of all citizens. Strike and all sort of things. I mean, peaceful strike, peaceful protests is a constitutional right of all citizens. It is not an issue that someone is bringing to separate this nation. And we all know, and that's why you see like what happened in Garwa yesterday and in Marwa today. I am saying they were not incoherent with the law. They were not supposed to come out. I call on all citizens to be quiet. But so far, I'm not a candidate, madam. I cannot pronounce anything that if I was a candidate, I have my own ways. Issa Chiruma has his own ways. So every leader has his own way. For I myself, like for protests that began yesterday and today, it was not okay. You have just allowed the Constitutional Council. Let us listen to what has been prepared. Though people started coming out because the rumor already came out that things were changed. But myself, I don't believe in rumors. Though there are acts that they masterminded over my candidacy, that they saw truths over my candidacy and decided to still reject my candidacy because some members of governments decided to and imposed on them that my candidacy should not pass. Camto's own should not pass. And they had to listen without using their own will, the power that has been invested on them by the law. So, madam, what I'm telling you for these protests is a constitutional right for every Cameroonian to come out and say that, no, I'm not happy. But let it should not come out with violence. Let it shouldn't be with violence. But for me, what has happened yesterday and today, I don't think it to be normal, because they are instead giving the military the opportunity to oppress the people, because the military is there to protect all citizens. The citizens are there to, in short, in short, the military are there to guarantee the peace of the nation and the security of the people. So if the people would have sat quiet, wait and listen to the, to the verdict of the Constitutional Council, then they protest. I don't think that the military has right to oppress them or to
So,
send them.
Mr. Shewa, the question keeps coming. Will you join your ally to go to the street? That is from Boris Fun.
Well, I am not the candidates, and I'm listening to the candidates. And when the time comes, and then I shall give my own words. Because at this moment, now,
I will let you listen. Yeah.
Excuse me, excuse me. Yeah, let the Cameroonians listen to me very well. If they talk of tomorrow, coming out tomorrow, have they given a verdict? Not yet. So let the verdict should come out. When the verdict comes out, that is not what we are expecting, or it's not what Cameroonians are expecting. Because myself, I voted and I had bet only a single vote count. And now all the Cameroonians make their choices. So when the majority comes out, I as a leader, yes, I am an ally to His Excellency Issa Chuma, and his decision and his ways that he has decided to take, we cannot oppose him. We are like giving him our own advice that no, this is like that. But so far, he has his own way and he has his own position. And I know he has worked with this regime. He knows them. He knows what is best for them. And he knows how he can do to gain back what belongs to him.
So I have a question from Boris Fun, who is watching us, and he says, what if the Constitutional Council doesn't tell you what you want to hear, doesn't tell the truth of the ballots on Monday? What is your plan B?
My plan B should be on Monday and not now.
Well,
yes, my plan B should be on Monday and not now. Because anything said now, it's like I'm fueling violence, right? And I've made it clear. Protests, peaceful protests is a constitutional right of all citizens.
But Mr. Shewa, why would you think that walking down in the streets is fueling violence? Is there anything violent about what you just mentioned as a constitutional right to protest?
That?
Why would you say that you speaking now, making a statement now, will mean that you are encouraging or fueling violence? Why should violence be tied to your constitutional rights to protest, as you have rightfully expressed?
Well, the issue is, if I'm saying something today, which it has not even occurred, it's like I'm preparing the minds of people against something. Listen to me, madam. I'm an intellectual, and I am a politician, a young politician who is there to liberate this nation. I said I will only say something on the day that they will proclaim the elections. Then I have my authority, I have my right, I have my freedom to declare whatever thing I have to declare. But if I'm saying something today, before the day, it's like I am already going against the Constitution, the law.
But how can it be against the Constitution? You yourself have said that it is a constitutional right to protest. But also, if you're saying that you don't want to speak until after the verdict, that means you're being reactive, and it doesn't give the impression you're a politician who prepares beforehand.
No, madam, excuse me. I still repeat my words. Cameroonians who are watching me, we know, as I repeat, protest is a constitutional right of all citizens, right? I have right to come out and protest. Even as my candidacy was fraudulently rejected, I have right to go on the street or go to the street and protest. But so far, God asked me to sit quiet. I decided to stay quiet. And I'm telling you,
okay,
madam, everything, excuse me, from the vote count that we have, I get now, from the results that we received from the polling stations, from when I declared, was showing that Issa Chuma was leading. So if myself, I come out and I say that if this day, this thing does not happen like that, they should do like that. It is not good. Candidate has right to declare it. Is a candidate, I'm not the candidate. Isa Chiruma has is the candidate. What he says, we who are the allies, you can give him advice, but when he persists, we only follow what he. So what I'm saying here is this: me as an ally, I can only give my words only on the day that they shall proclaim these results. Because
I'm
anything
going to go
before
ahead and
then,
read some comments. I'm going to
yeah.
go ahead, Mr. Sheila, and read some comments. And for those who are joining us, this is Angie Forbin. The show is the name. And you can also watch us on the same handle on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and read a comment from Yannick Gislain, who says, does it mean that you don't believe Issa Chiroma, your ally, won? But another comment just coming in as well. Frundi was fearless. Learn from your father, Grand Frere. So you can see that that is a question that people would really like for you to answer. But Rich James says, well spoken. If he says yes, tomorrow those guys will pick him up even before the D-Day. And that is what leads me to the next question. There have been incessant calls from regime barons. We saw the interior minister early in the week issue a communique saying that, a press release saying that everybody guilty of going out will be tried for insurrection in the military court, warning against the destabilization of peace and national unity of Cameroon. Same thing for the SDO of Bangu or the DO of Bangu and several other locations, including the SDO for the Fundi in Yaoundé. Why do you think that everybody in the regime, in the Yaoundé regime, is so jittery every time protests are announced? Why is a protest always linked to the destabilization of Cameroon if there is peace, as is made believe?
Madam, you see, we always give them advantage if all of us are like respecting the law. They will not take such an advantage to say all these things that they are saying. Because, like as I said, you see, yesterday was in Garwa, today it is in Marwa, and everywhere people are already coming out. They are giving them the power to oppress them. They don't have rights. Even what the Minad wrote, saying that if people comes out, that will be judged before it's a constitutional right. He has no right to intimidate the people's will. What we are saying, he knows the law, and the law is very clear that people have a right to protest, peaceful protest. So he will not say that anyone who comes out will be taken to the military court and judged for whatever thing for the destabilization. If they themselves knows what is right, let them to give what the will of the people. So here I've seen what my brother just wrote and asked whether is it that I don't believe in Issa Chiroma. If I get my congratulating message, congratulations for that is for the good job and the great job being established. As per the results already at hand, it's showing that you are winning very high. In short, extremely high. So means that what we know that the victory has to be him. So if anything comes out, which I will not be the one to proclaim it, that's why we say the law is there. It's a constitutional council that reads that proclaim it. Everything that they are saying is a rumor, but let us wait till the day. I believe in what he is doing, and he's from the regime. He knows the system more than all of us here that are see going in who are outside. Everything that he's saying, he has people, even informants, among those ministers who are giving him all the updates. Okay, madam? So any step that he's saying, all those things that he's saying, he knows it. So that's why I say I have little to chip in as per what should happen on Monday. I will only act as from Monday, but we are following his own perspective the way he has taken the step. But myself, I have said the people who are coming out like yesterday, today, tomorrow will be like giving, giving advantage to the military to oppress them. Because the military will come and send them off. They are not proclaim you are against the law. Why are you coming out? You will justify that what? But if you come out the day that they proclaim peacefully and say, no, that's not what I voted. That's not what I voted. The military will listen to you because it is their rights to express
I have
their
another question from Rich James, who's also watching us, and it says, what is the will of the people, sir? This sentence is continually coming. Do you want to answer that, Mr. Shewa?
The will of the people is a decision that each and every one took on the day of the polls. That's the day that they were voting. That's the will. It's a will, my will, your will. It becomes the will of the people. And from the vote count, I'm not vote count. I mean from the results that we obtained. All of us, I call it the raw results that were coming from the polling station. You were seeing as people, they were filming it, making videos, even when in the diasporas, everything was coming fresh. You understood that the people decided to invest someone, that to give their power unto someone. So that will of the people is a sovereignty of the individuals, because the law of the people says, the law of the republic says, that is the sovereignty of the people shall be vested on to the president of the republic. Without this sovereignty, you will not have power to act. So if the people have decided to take back their will from you, like what is happening today, that we are still observing, that the people have decided to take back their will onto Issa Chiruma. So let that will, that decision, by voting for change, be respected, madam.
Are you not afraid of getting arrested for declaring him, acknowledging him as the winner in these difficult times when the regime, the interior ministers, for instance, threatened him for announcing that he won the election? Aren't you afraid as a public figure that you could get arrested as well?
Madam, my right is that, when some of you journalists, when you ask somebody many talks, you engage somebody on errors. My topic is very clear. I've said it, that I'm not declaring Issa Chiruma. Even all my videos, even my outings, even my letter I've written, I've asked the people should be quiet. Let the Constitutional Council that has the constitutional right and power to proclaim the results, give the analysis. How this person won here, this person won here, this person won here. There was a problem here. They have decided to reject this place. They have decided to reinstate this place, and finally bring the results. Is the Constitutional Council. I have not declared Issa Chiruma as a winner. I still repeat, my notes, in short, the note I sent to him is on the social media. The time I congratulated him, that was just last week. I told him from the vote, that was on the Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I said from all the votes received, all the process verbal and the results that we received from the field, showing that he is winning extremely high, we congratulate him. And in that same notes, I made mention of Elekam, not to repeat what they did to me by unjustly rejecting my candidacy. I also made mention that in 1992, Funzi won, and they rigged his victory. Let that thing shouldn't happen. And in that same note, I ended by calling on citizens, Cameroonians, to stay quiet. Let us listen to the Constitutional Council.
Another question for you as we come to the end of this. You were an actor in 1999. You saw what happened, and from a historical perspective, because you were close to the late chairman. In terms of mobilization, what is different now than it was in 1992? Do you see any difference?
Well, yes, there is a great difference. In 1992, we were not like um, the system or Cameroon was not having this network like we having everywhere. We have network, people can use their phones, right, to pick up what is on the field and send it. That is the great difference. Fundi at that 1992, people, at least the alarming crowds that came out, that stood for change, and when they voted, the process about there that they had physically proved to me that they won. And now it's only God and him that, and us. By then I was still small, our parents who were by him that had the payday, and so that he won. But today, even a child that is in a secondary school, once he's having an Android phone, the child sees the results. But at that time, we could not see it. So today, like all those votes that were coming out in various polling stations, like in diaspora, as victory started coming, Issa Sirima was winning. Where Pobia wins, they show. Where Issa Sirima wins, they show. Even you are somebody, you'll be counting and you're seeing, hey, this person has won all this way in this center, in this division, he has won it. All of us, you will know it. So it makes it clear difference that we are in Android generation, and with this social media, it has it has enhanced democracy with transparency, because it makes people to see the results. So even that you can be in, nobody can fool you. So that's why I'm saying that Cameroonians who wants to come out, they know their rights. They know what there's. They know what they did, because they saw the results. So if they are coming out, based on what they did. I'm not a candidate, and I'm just an ally who form a coalition to liberate this nation. So the candidate is there to guarantee and to guide the actions of all of us who are behind him. But like I said,
Mr. Shewa, it's such a pleasure having you today. You are a former SDF militant, but you are also the head of your own political party and an ally to Issa Chiroma, who is claiming victory with 54%. He released results of the 18 divisions with the heaviest population density in the country, where it was clearly leading Mr. Biya. He won in 13 of those divisions out of 18. And he has come out to say Cameroonians must protest until the victory is given them. My question to you at the very tail end is, if he were to actually be installed in A2D as the third president of Cameroon, and he offered you a ministerial position, is this something that you would look into?
Well, for me, since he's a new president, that we need to work, because he needs us, especially to solve the crises that are embedding this nation, the Anglophone crisis and the Boko Haram insurgency. We need us. So for that reason, really such an opportunity is given. Since I'm out to save the nation, I will not resist than to take it and to give him my own advice on how we should resolve this crisis, on how we should change this nation, on how to reconcile this nation, and on how to in short, many other things. We have advice to give to him. Like I, for one, I was coming, all some of these ministers who are in powers, us who are working well, we are coming to reconstruct this nation. I mean, reconstruction. We have to reconstruct.
Who are some of the ministers you think are working well?
Do you want me to call them? If I'm calling them, you know that wait, let me tell you. You know that even within them, there is even an infight. Yes, there's an infight. Now, if I call somebody, they will go and say, "Oh, did this and this people here, this opposition person called his name. He shows that he's like this." You know, they are amongst them. There are people who are ready to offer others because they want that's the one to seize their positions. If I just recommend 3 ministers right now, you want to hear tomorrow they will be saying that yes, this person is saying this is because they are ministers that I can make mention of, at least who are working well. Like I can start.
Can you name three?
Okay, we can see the Minister of Economy, Usmami. We have Minister of Finance,
Mutaze.
Mutazi, and we have Minister of Public Works. Because when we see at the finance, there were a lot of things. You're having ghost workers. I get in that people within this nation, we are taking money for people who are not even existing, taking salaries. So he came in and blocked all those holes. That's what the Mutazi did, and the process had already even commenced by this man, the Minister of Economy, before he left finance and was going there. They have already started. So the two of them came in. At least there is a lot of transparency towards our finances right now. I said I can put 50% because it's not 100%, because there are still irregularities. Yeah, because even somebody fixed something, you cannot say that he has fixed it well. But I appreciate them. And you see, Public Works Minister, there are many roads that we are seeing that are ongoing. Many roads, if really Pobia had such ministers, when, in short, 20 years back, Cameroon would have had roads everywhere. Is that we are facing, yes, physically around us as we are moving, we are having bad roads. There were roads already constructed. Now they are, there are a lot of dilapidation. There are a lot of dilapidation that is happening. Yes. So they are deteriorating. So they cannot just say that the Minister of Public Works at the same time will be here, will be that way. No. But when we observed the general sphere of roads infrastructures, as per when he took over, there is a lot of changes.
So which position would you like to occupy? I mean, you just praised 3 ministers, Public Works, Finance, and Economy. Which one is the one that you're eyeing?
No. I'm not even eyeing any one of that nature. Yeah,
How can you say that?
Yeah, no, excuse me. I cannot call a position that maybe the candidate in question hasn't proposed to me. Let him propose it to me first, before I weigh it and see whether it's what.
But where do you think your competencies fit in?
Madam, I can actually work anywhere. Yes, I can actually work anywhere. I am actually an entrepreneur. I did science, I did sociology, I did a lot of things. So I can fit in anywhere. So I can fit in any ministry. So
if you were I'm just going to read this comment real quick and then we can wrap up. Rich James says, what about Grand Atango? Now, Grand Atango is the nickname for the Interior Minister at Anganju. What do you think about his competencies?
Well, I cannot, if I want to talk about him right now, it will take us the whole hours. But I don't want to talk about him. Probably I knew why he puts him there. In Grand Atango, I call him Grand Atango as I call that Grand Atango. Atango is our brother, but he has been committing a lot of errors in all his actions. Yeah, because you see, somebody like him, I've never come across, we have never greeted ourselves. I've never visited him. But when my candidacy came out, I am an Anglophone. He went, when the Constitutional Council wrote to him, he should give them the clarity who was the national president. He went, in the case of Kamto and Yebga, he precised who was the national president. When he came to mine, he didn't say anything. He just said that all of us are, he just wrapped the words that shows that we are all in the same party. And the Constitutional Council read it, the rapporteur read it and said, but that it was difficult for them to bring it, in short, therefore to solve my problem. That's when I start going that, okay, look at the seats of Minat this is the name of the national president. He's the only person. He's the only one who signed my investiture. And this is the document signed by Paul Atanganji that he's the national president. I'm surprised that the Paul Atanganji, cannot recognize him. Secondly, I have my political party. He has not legalized my political party. The information met me that they had a consultation. Those CPDM elites there in the Northwest as a whole said that let my political party shouldn't be legalized, because if my political party is legalized, they will have it hot. That is how they used to tell them that Fundi's party should not exist. Like, this is how Fundi took them decades for them to finish SDF. If they create my party, it will be very disastrous to to them. So,
but if you were that popular, why didn't you just stay within the SDF and challenge the current chairman?
No, they have already sold SDF, madam. Let me tell you.
Sold it?
That's why I'm telling you, when I wanted to explain the story, it was too long and you kept me.
Can you summarize it?
Yeah, if you had listened to me, you would have heard it. So I'm still talking about Paul Atanganji. Let me close up the chapter. He refused to legalize my political party. There are people who came behind me. He legalized their own political party. And he refused to legalize mine. He went again and blocked my candidacy. I should not be the presidential candidate. If I would have been a candidate, the position of Issa Chibra, maybe I would have been the one there. So you understand? He claims he knows laws, but then he doesn't also apply law, because the law gives him political party does not need to stay more than 90 days in his office. The mine is more than 1 year. That's 23rd of November 2023 to 23rd of November 2024, 1 year. That's 23rd of 2024 to we are almost in November. It will be getting 2 years. He has not signed my political party. But when I hear him, in short, the time I listen to him, and all his outing is that, people should respect the law, or else he will go down for. He's also respecting the law. He should respect the law. He should legalize our political parties. Why is he blocking us? So that's why I'm saying that I cannot talk anything about him much, but I just want to advise him that we are Cameroonians. If really he's really out, and the ministry that Pobia has given to him with all confidence, he should manage the ministry well. He should respect also the rights, the obligations of the people. There are obligations of the people that he must respect. Not only enforcing that people should respect. If you don't respect, how do you also want people to respect? But me, from the beginning, when I was called on Cameroonians, I was telling them to respect the law. That's why here I said those who even started manifesting yesterday and today within the law is not okay. But if they come out on Monday, they have their right to protest peacefully. It is guaranteed by the law. So I respect the law.
Wait,
and that is why I also say that.
What do you mean by they don't have the right to protest before Monday? Can you explain?
Yes, they don't have rights because the verdict has not been proclaimed. It's the Constitutional Council by the law that has right to proclaim the elections. That is why I'm still calling, and I'm saying it very clearly. And that's why I say that on Monday, I'm going to give my own verdict on what people should do, following the allies that we have given to Issa Chiroma. We are behind him. We have told him that we will support him till the end. But when people are making mistakes, we ask him that no, tell the people like this. Tell the people like this. Yes, he has declared his victory. He is the candidate. The one that received all those vote counts and everything came to him. He has some members of God's that we know he was working with them. That certainly must have given him all the assurance. Before somebody is saying something, he should have a lot of proofs. That's why me here, I cannot guarantee by saying certain things that I'm not a candidate. Because when I was a candidate, there were a lot of things. When I was striving to take over from SDF, that's from Funzi, I had a lot of things. There were a lot of secret things that I got. People came and told me how they have been carrying bags of money. Carrying bags of money, bags of money are moving in the hands of people in there. If I was just a normal person downward, I wouldn't have known it.
Who told you that?
And that is why,
And bags of money were going back and forth between who and who?
that
You said bags of money. You were told that bags of money within the SDF were exchanging hands between who and who?
my dear, that's why when I started explaining, I'm saying the story is very high, it's long. But the bags of money, they were saying that bags of money were being transported to Douala. But when I say Douala was not where Frunzi was staying. Frunzi was living in Bamenda or in Swat. If they were saying that bags of money were running to Swat or to Bamenda, no, that's why one time I told the people, and I'm still here to come and myself in person to that's to celebrate the death or the funeral of Frunzi myself in Bamenda. When we shall end this crisis, I shall come and do it because this man has died as a poor person. Frunzi, they proposed billions ministerial positions to him, then he refused because he stood for the people and he decided to liberate the people. It's not at this age, at this moment, that Frunzi will take such money. People, and he was dying like that. People, a lot of stories came out that Frunzi has done the work. But meanwhile, it's the immediate collaborators that he gave confidence who were treating things behind. It's like myself, I'm the national president. You go behind, you are making business, collecting money and coming. I don't even yet, money is not coming to my place. The money is going towards where you are living. So, but now, but we got that later we came to know the truth. So, but Cameroonians, like the Anglophones, have been taking Frunzi as a betrayer. And I want to tell people, even if Frunzi did what, it was already at the age, at the time that he was already sick. Like what is happening in Cameroon right now, like Pobia, as I repeated, Pobia, when we see what is happening right now, like our candidates say our candidates were disqualified, right? Pobia could not do that. If he was the one, he wouldn't have done that. There are a lot of irregularities that are ongoing right now that we know that if Pobia was the one, he wouldn't have been the one doing it.
So,
So
Mr.
it's like there's a time that
you
when you are already aging out and you are tired, your collaborators will take advantage to do dubious things, but it's your name that will be coming out. So,
Mr. Shewa, Eugene Dickum says your party, like several others, should be dissolved once Issa Chiroma Bakari takes office as part of the much-needed electoral reforms. A huge reason why Biya stayed in power for over 4 decades has to do with the excessive number of political parties he approved. You have any comments to make about that?
well, the comments I'll give here, Pobia legalizing political parties. It's a right of every individual, every citizen to if you have the capacity to create a political party, the government they must sign it. Like myself now, I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry with Paul Atanganji for not signing my political party. Huh? They have right to sign it. They must sign it because it's my civil rights. They have to sign it. So even if Issa Chiroma is taking power, he needs to sign political parties. He needs to legalize those who want to. It is democracy. Even though we have 1,000 political parties, but now there is a way now that the government should now. There's this thing that I will propose that they should apply it. They will sign a political party, and when normal elections come out, and they've seen that you have not even registered. Let me say, even the council or even the councillor, they should stop your political party. That one will show, and it will make people not to create party and be moving with them in their pockets and only waiting for just to come out and say that they are political leaders, they are supporting this, they go and carry money. Like this moment, they are forming that G20. They are all, it's a group of empty political parties. I call them empty. They're not names they are holding. You go down, you will not see their bases. They don't have bases. Most of them, they're just moving with.
One of them is Mr. Momo, who is the Minister Delegate of Justice, and he's the head of the PADEC political party, and he ran for president in 2011. Are you saying he doesn't have how do you mean he doesn't have a base? He ran for president.
Madam, even those who are even candidates today, who are candidates, that some party even invested. Huh? There are some candidates right now, they don't have a base. I mean, those candidates, but the party has a base. Are you hearing? Huh? The party has a base. Let me ask you a question. Does the party of Momo Joe, whatever Momo, is he having a member of parliament?
No.
Uh-huh. So do you think that is he having a base? Okay. Is he having a councillor? No. So excuse me. So those are MC, in short, I call them MC political parties. They are just noise makers. They come and sit in the podium, make all sort of noise that they are leaders. But when you go on the field, they have nothing. It's like anybody can come out, even you yourself, you can be a presidential candidate tomorrow. But meanwhile, you are there, you don't have even somebody on the field. You can come and meet a political party that is already existing. That please invest me. They can see invest because the law permits you. But you people, they short, you are just a new person. They don't know you. But the party might have some people that knows all his activities on the field. But you that is a candidate, you don't have a base. So that's why I'm saying that those people like Momo and others who are making noise, their parties are just empty. They are just empty verses. Just take a look. Go to my Facebook page. My party has not been legalized, but you will see my artists. I went to know the other day. You see only the population that came out. Then you only see the 11th February, 20th May. They came out to march, but they were being blocked, saying that, firstly, that we are not represented at the National Assembly to take part in the march past, as if there is any law that is guaranteeing that. The only law that we have that, that said only political parties represented at the National Assembly should take part is to go in for the presidential elections, not to partake in the national celebrations of, maybe the Youth Day or the 20th May. So apparently you understand how this regime, they are using tactics to oppress us. Because when they notice that you have people, they want to oppress you so that you should not come out. But yet, if you go to my Facebook page, madam, you will see how my party is not illegalized, but a half base in all the 10 regions. So to conclude here, madam, you said because it was already time up. I don't have much to say. I just want to thank you.
I was going to ask you, as we exit, if you have plans to run in local elections. Regional elections are coming up next month, but also legislative, municipal, and legislative and municipal elections are coming up. Are you going to find another party to run in the local elections, or are you still hoping that you can legalize your party?
Madam, you made mention of something that either we're going to move with Issa Shuluman's party. No, even during our discussion with him, the time we decided to support him, in our protocol we made was very clear. We told him that when he will come to local elections, each and every one of us will go in for our elections. But we will work with him to build back the nation. We'll contribute to see that his plan of actions are genuinely executed. And the great change that Cameroonians are waiting for should be enforced. So I, for one, my party shall be going in for the upcoming legislative and municipal elections.
But it's still illegal.
Huh?
It's still illegal.
No, it is legal. Understand. The law number 90/056 of 19 December 1990, in its article 7 sub 2 states that in the event of silence after depositing your documents at the services of the competent governor, the party within 90 days, if the party has not been legalized, your party is deemed legal. That clause is there. And reasons why, you see, we were being oppressed during that 20th May. In some areas, they allow all we march. Even in the 11th of February, it is as if some of these deals, some of them, as they are claiming that they went to Enam, some of them didn't pass through that Enam because they are there to apply the law. The law is very clear. We have good laws. But some of them, they are instead imposing, using what somebody is sitting here in Yaoundé telling them. They are not following the laws. They are just there. But when you go to some areas, you see how those deals, they read the law, they apply with the law. They are not influenced by anyone. So I have other political parties that 2020, they were not accepting to legalize their political party, madam. It went during that period, they compiled their council lists. They went and deposited. Elecam rejected it, but Elecam already saw the law, but Elecam rejected it so that the court should be the one to approve it. Now, when the Elecam rejected it, they made a complaint and dropped at the administrative court, and the administrative court rolled over. And so that, first of all, they have already give in short, for they already gave Minat a report that shows that's a warning letter, because that letter is necessary. You must give it to an administrator to be aware that anytime you can carry him to court. They did it, and the court validated it, and they competed. Some of them won their cases. So because the law gives the courts upper power over administrative decisions. Right now, I'm even in court with Paul Atangaji for not legalizing my political party. Yes, I took him to court. That was, I think, on the 12th of last month. That was October, 12th of October. Yes, I took him to the court.
That's 2 weeks ago, or 10 days ago.
And the matter is at the court, and I know any time from now they will roll over it. I gave my shot. The court saved him with my complaint, and he gave his own reply to me. And me, I still replied. I took his own report that he made. I contested and gave my own point with facts. They sent it back to him. He sent the other day, and it's already at the point that we will be heard at the constitution, at the administrative court anytime from now. So I am calling on all Cameroonians to know that my political party shall be going in for the upcoming elections. And some of you who wants to be members of parliament, try to contact me now, because in the 10 regions of the Republic of Cameroon, I'm going to participate, and especially in the Northwest and Southwest, we have to seize all those parliamentary seats and the council seats in the Northwest and Southwest.
Mr. Shawa,
yeah,
it's a pleasure having you. It's on that note that we have to call it quits. We've gone way beyond the expected time, but I appreciate your time and availability. Hope to see you again soon, and this time wearing the green, red, yellow sash as an MP or as a mayor. And I wish you all the best of luck with your litigations or your court case with the Minister of the Interior. Hope that you're able to legalize your party, and all the best, all the very best. And it's on that note that we say good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless you, you that have given me such an opportunity. And I'll pray that God should protect you. Others who are watching me, I want to greet my brother, Honorable Dr. Ndasi Evis. You people should stay over the way. People have allowed us here in the country, lamenting on on this pressure that we're facing with the regime. I believe that you will soon come back to meet me on ground, Mr. Ndasi, and calm down. I think we're going to work together with my party. And I think, why not becoming the mayor of Misaje? Why not, if we can arrange, why not us working in the hands and roof? Because I need young people like you and others that are also hearing me. We meet in all the constituency in the Northwest regions. Outstanding elites who are still out of the country, I'm waiting for you, because we have to seize all those parliamentary seats. Because there is no longer any good party that can save or that can give people what they want, a part of my own party and a part of my ideology. Because I was trained by Frundi. I am the son of Frundi, and I'm proud to be his son, because Frundi was not, I was never compromised. At the dying minute, it was just because of the illness. And that is why I am calling on you. I can never and I will never compromise to anything. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Mr. Shewa David Gestel, former SDF member with his own party now, and who is in a legal battle with the Interior Minister, hoping that his party gets legalized. He mentioned Elvis Newcomb, who is truly, yes, very far from his country of birth, but still very near in the Misaje Council. He provides health supplies and support, and has a clinic he has touched the lives of countless people, and is doing some titanic work with regards to healthcare in that part of the country. It's on that note, again, we're going to say goodbye for now, but you know what's up. Cameroon is in an electoral crisis, post-electoral crisis, after Issa Chiroma declared himself winner based off of the trends that emerged from the ballots, the polling stations on the 12th of October. Paul Biya claims to have won on his side as well, and countless ministers and government officials are calling for Cameroonians to stay in their homes and using peace as a threat. But again, my name is Angie Forbin. My Facebook handle is the same as my name, and the show is equally the same. You can also catch us on YouTube. It's also Angie Forbin there. And it's on that note that we say bye-bye, and we'll see you again soon.